So I'm just sitting here, like jerking my wiener, thinking about all the fun stuff that we can do with what we have in the shop. And I realized that beside the shop, we have one of these, a frickin' lawnmower. And then we got these slicks and skinnies that we're gonna use for the Little Roy, but there's just not enough room in this garage to be able to do that project and have two cars in here at the same time. So we kind of put it on the back burners, but damn, this thing would look good with slicks and skinnies, wouldn't it? So I'm gonna start breaking it down, try and get like the axles out of this thing and see what we can do with it. 14 horsepower engine might be enough if it wasn't a stupid belt drive system to the back, just some weird ass diff. As you can see, this is what the stupid underside looks like. It's like a vertical shaft and it comes down to this pulley. That one would have went to the blades, but the other pulley goes all the way to the rear end, to another pulley, a differential, and it doesn't even make sense, man. And I don't care enough about a lawnmower to want to mow my lawn. What I care about is I want to take this machine to the store to go get my Red Bull in Canadian fashion, in a lawnmower. So you've got to go. The wall power. Now that we've got all that useless garbage out of the way, there's just 4 bolts for the engine to come out. I've already got 3 of them out, so the engine's just hanging on 1 bolt. And get this 1 bolt now. Stupid Honda. I believe I've cut the appropriate amount of wires to get this out, which is all of them. Oh yeah, what a piece of garbage. It looks as though we'll have to like cut out some of the frame, try and get this to sit a little bit lower. Or take that piece out of the top there. Let's get the rear end out of her, huh? Oh, I need like a welding glove or something. Jeez, the vibration's killer. Alright, the axle out of the back. We just shoved the tire kind of under there, I guess. That might not be where it ends up, but it's just resting on the little tire back here. So you can see the axle's out. I mean, it's starting to look like a little badass machine. What I need to do is figure out what the offset of this is, plus the axle that I have over there already if I don't want to spend any money. So this is a 1-inch axle. We might end up bending it. If we have to, we'll upgrade to a 1.25. It looks like this is going to be the rough width of what it's going to be if we put the other tire on the other side. And since it's solid axle and there's going to be no movement, we can cut the shit out of this fender right here, slam this thing so it's almost touching the tire, and then lube it up, and then it'll be fine. I got a couple plans, eh? First off, Gina told me I needed more Canadian, eh? So I'm going to start saying eh more, eh? We're going to cut this fender after, in the middle right here. Put a piece in the middle to extend it wider so the tires will actually fit under this lip, eh? And then by golly gee, we're gonna take these tires and rims, both of them, put them in the back of the Beetle, eh? And we're gonna go over to Dan's and he's gonna mount them for us. I did test fit the 1000 in here. It's not even close. It sits like as high as the handlebars do. So we're gonna use this friggin' beast here, which needs some work because it was on fire at one point, but who knows, 660 Raptor engine's probably easy to find. I ordered a micro squirt for it. I ordered 2 throttle bodies with provisions for fuel injectors. And then I did order some axle stuff for this so we can put this solid axle in there. By golly gee, buddy, nobody can take me serious with the mustache. Oh, yeah. I don't really fit in here. I'm like, this is like butt stuff. I just don't, I mean, I kind of fit, I guess. It's a wife's Beetle, actually. Super awesome to drive. 1957. Still air-cooled engine. I don't know what else to say about it. Dan tells me to pump her 7 or 9 times, 12, 14, 13 times. Hey! You were wrong, Dan. It's 15 times. Hitting the open road, just me and my buggy. Maybe I'll pull over later and get myself a Dougie. I forgot the Allen key at the other garage. But you thought we were keeping the 660 stock, weren't you? Dang. standing at the front one's mounted, but we might be able to handle that. You know, just a casual $2,000 set of wheels and tires for a lawnmower. Wasn't how I planned that one. So this is kind of the idea we're going for, except it needs to be way more slammed than it is now, because the frame rail's sitting, I don't know, 18 inches off the ground. That needs to be like 6 maybe. And there's our 660 Raptor engine. That's kind of the width I want to go. Here was the center line before. I'm going to move the axle probably 6 inches forward than it was. Maybe even a bit longer than that. I'm not even sure how we got this far without using a grinder yet. Let's open the app. I mean, get the grinder out in there. Cut the front end off this thing. Blew the R straight out. Oh no, I broke the fender. Oh, that's awesome. Wow, we've got it stripped down to nothing, boys. As you can see, the main structure of this thing is just like a single plate that goes across, and that's not really good for twisting and stuff, so we're gonna have to tube a lot of stuff in here, maybe even tube the front. Now I wanted to keep this section intact because this section is the one that we base the hood off of, the fenders off of, all that stuff, so we can chop the rear end of it, we can chop the front end of it, I don't care about that. But this is where we want to build around. We have to see where our engine is going to fit because that is going to determine where we're going to cut that front end and drop it. Possibly. I don't know. I'm completely messed up. I've got this thing where I can't picture things in my mind. It's actually a thing. If I close my eyes, I can't see something. Even if I try and picture it. If I try and picture a sunny day right now, I can't see it. Anyways, we're just going to put the engine in here, see where it sits, and then see where we're going to cut after that. Because we're good at like cutting twice, attaching more metal, cutting again, and then not finishing projects. Oopsie daisy you go! It's gotta be lower. Okay, so we're probably gonna cut the frame right here, right after this bolt on both sides, get this whole front end out of the way, because this engine, see where the sprocket is way up here? That's gotta be like down where the frame rail is, because that's gotta go to the back end. So this engine basically has to be close to the floor right now. That's how far off we are. We're not left with much now, are we? I feel like we're in a little bit better position here now. We are gonna have to get rid of this steering and get a new custom steering box because that's gonna be right in the way. And we're gonna have to get rid of that bar in the middle and probably this plate on the bottom and this shifter thing and this thing. But, you know, progress, I guess. It's there. I'm here. I'm just sitting on a cylinder head box. I'm just pondering. Sometimes you just gotta sit back and ponder and look at it and be like, is this gonna work? Is 4 inches enough? Is she lying to me? Is 3 inches enough? So obviously the center line of the axle is going to be right where those hubs are, about that high off the ground. So even if we went straight across from there, it's above this. So we should move this up some at least to match the height of whatever height that is. They're 22-inch tall tires, so it should be 11 inches to the middle. Yeah, 11 inches. So some structural part of this should be 11 inches off the ground in order to run the axle through it and the bearings, because the bearing casings are going to have to go through something like this. And then once we find the center line of this, we actually have to take into account that this sprocket is probably a couple inches off that too. The sprocket's probably 3.5 inches more than that, so we should go at least 11 plus 4 inches from the floor, 14 inch. So it should be 15 inches off the floor if we want to fit the sprocket and everything inside this frame rail. Rear end probably has to be up another, I don't know, half an inch from what it is right there because the axle is sitting actually lower, not dead center. But that's kind of what it's going to look like in the back. And the cylinder head box is coming clutch again. I think this is the height we're actually looking for, which is kind of a bit on the high side, but considering I'll drop the motor a bit lower and it's got really big tires on it now, that's probably not horrible. And we still want it to be able to push a car. It looks as though if we use this pre-existing hole right here and then move the bearing to the back so this thing is flat on the end, we can hole saw right there and this should bolt right through our piece, and then we have enough room for our gear on the inside as well that it's not going to hit whatever is here. Oh yeah, just give her the good old-fashioned measure once trick. Works every time, Kyle. Oh, I like that. Ish, I like that ish, sort of. So what I actually have is the proper like 1/4 inch plates that go with these brackets to be welded on. What I'm gonna do, I think, is just cut out this center hole right here. It might be a little bit bigger, and I'm not going to drill the other holes in this thing because I might weld the other plate onto this piece just to give it some more strength, like a 1/4 inch plate, and then put our bearing into that and then drill the holes after that. But I'll drill this middle hole out so we can fit the axle in here and see kind of how it sits anyways. Wow, look how flimsy this stuff is now. Oh my god, this needs some bars in it. Hey! Both holes are semi-drilled out so we can kind of put our bearings in place. They need to be widened some more, those holes. Gotta be close enough for what we're doing right now. So that's just roughly where it's gonna go. Wow, it pretty much sits dead on the spot it needs to be right now. And that's kind of how it's gonna sit, that width and everything. Oh my god, that looks so cool. And then the chain goes perfectly underneath whatever this is gonna be. And then we just have to add some tube structure to make this thing stronger because it's weak as hell right now. Oh. Dude, if we mount it like that, where the seat is like almost touching these tires, I think it's that way higher than this though. For some reason, I feel like I took a piece out that makes this higher. Because there was actually springs on the back here. Yeah, I went like this. Honestly, dude, I love it. And if I wasn't waiting for hubs right now, I could put the wheels on there and the bearings in, and then I could start building the front because I have the front hubs as well and the front steering knuckle things coming. Wednesday. Today's Sunday, Wednesday. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one. Peace easy and get that V.